Trump threatens Maine's federal funding in tense exchange with state's governor. In the misty heights of the Great Mountain, where the clouds clung like silvered webs and the air was thick with the scent of pine and ancient magic, dwelled Zoran the dragon. His scales shimmered like polished obsidian in the low light of dawn, and his eyes, twin embers of wisdom and curiosity, cast their gaze far beyond the mountain's peaks. For Zoran was not just any dragon. He was a keeper of tales, a guardian of histories both mythical and mundane. One such tale was unfolding far below, in a world where humans thrived in their ever-complicated dance of politics and power. Zoran watched from his lofty perch, his keen senses picking up the vibrations of a story that rippled through the lands and reached even his secluded sanctuary. It was a tale of a nation's leader, President Donald Trump, whose voice thundered through the corridors of power and across the broad expanse of America. His latest decree, a ban on transgender women competing in women's sports, had ignited a storm of controversy and conflict. The heart of this storm lay in the state of Maine, where a determined and impassioned governor, Janet Mills, stood resolute against the president's command. Zoran's keen eyes saw the confrontation unfold like a scene from an ancient epic. The president, with his fiery rhetoric and unyielding stance, threatened to strip Maine of its federal funding should the state refuse to comply. His words, sharp as a dragon's claw, echoed through the halls of governance, stirring unrest and defiance. Governor Mills, with a spirit as strong as the ancient oaks of her homeland, faced this challenge with unwavering resolve. She spoke for the rights of all her citizens, her voice a beacon of hope and justice. The air crackled with the tension of their exchange, a clash of ideals that resonated far beyond the boundaries of Maine. From his lofty vantage point, Zoran pondered the nature of this conflict. He saw in it the eternal struggle between power and principle, a story as old as time itself. The dragon's heart, though ancient and mighty, felt a pang of empathy for the humans entangled in this modern-day saga. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, Zoran spread his great wings and took flight. The wind whispered secrets of the past and hints of the future in his ear as he soared over mountains and rivers, cities and forests. He knew that this tale, like all others, would find its place in the tapestry of history, and as its guardian, he would ensure that its lessons were not forgotten. Thus, the story of President Trump's decree and Governor Mills's defiance became another thread in the grand tapestry of tales that Zoran the Dragon would keep and share for generations to come. And through it all, he remained a watchful sentinel, ever vigilant, ever wise, guiding those who would listen through the labyrinthine paths of human experience. Controversial Doge employee. Once upon a time in a land where technological marvels intermingled with ancient wisdom, there was a curious dragon named Zoran. Zoran wasn't your typical fire-breathing beast, with scales that shimmered like the northern lights, and eyes that gleamed with boundless curiosity. Zoran had a knack for unraveling mysteries and uncovering tales that few knew of. One bright day, Zoran stumbled upon a tale about a young human, Edward Corristine. Edward, at the tender age of 17, found himself embroiled in a whirlwind of controversy. He was an intern at a powerful fortress called Path Network, an illustrious company that defended realms from the dark forces of cyber attacks. However, suspicion fell upon Edward for allegedly leaking secrets to a competing clan. Despite the suspicions, Marshall Webb, the wise and forgiving leader of Path Network, allowed Edward to remain under strict conditions. Better to have him close, thought Marshall, than to let him run amok with our precious secrets. Time marched forward, and Edward, now a young man of 19, found himself swept into the grand schemes of an even grander figure, Elon Musk. Elon, a visionary leader known for his eccentric endeavors and limitless ambitions, had created a formidable entity called the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Edward's new role as a senior advisor within DOGE raised many eyebrows. People questioned the wisdom of allowing such a young and inexperienced lad to handle the kingdom's most sensitive information. There were whispers of doubt and concern throughout the land. How could someone so young and with a shadowed past be trusted with our most sacred secrets? Mused the wise professors and vigilant watchdogs of the realm. Despite the skepticism, Edward carried on, navigating the treacherous waters of bureaucracy and politics. The Doge, led by Musk, sought to reshape the very fabric of the government, claiming unprecedented access to the kingdom's sensitive data. Yet, the lack of transparency and oversight raised alarms among the guardians of the realm. As Zoran delved deeper into the tale, he discovered tales of secret meetings, unknown identities, and unguarded treasures. Musk's Doge crew had gained access to information that could alter the fate of the kingdom, from social security details to the inner workings of the treasury. The story of Edward Corristine, the boy who once teetered on the edge of scandal, now stood at the heart of a monumental transformation. It was a story of trust, power, and the ever-present dance between light and shadow. And so, as Zoran the dragon spread his wings and soared into the skies, he couldn't help but marvel at the intricate web of fate that bound the lives of humans. For in this world, every tale held the promise of adventure, intrigue, and the timeless quest for understanding. The end. Fact check. Trump's barrage of lies about Zelensky and Ukraine. Once upon a time, in a realm where truth and deception danced a delicate waltz, there lived a wise and inquisitive dragon named Zoran, with scales that shimmered like the morning sun and eyes that saw beyond the surface. Zoran had a gift for uncovering the hidden truths of the world. One day, Zoran found himself drawn to a tale of great importance, a tale that spanned the lands of America and Ukraine, involving two powerful leaders, Donald Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky. The air was thick with rumors and falsehoods, and Zoran knew it was his duty to set the record straight. Oh, the tangled web of politics, Zoran mused, his voice a deep rumble that echoed through the valley. It is a realm where truth often finds itself ensnared in the thorns of deception. The story began with Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, who had recently unleashed a barrage of false claims about Zelensky and the ongoing war in Ukraine. Trump had accused Zelensky of starting the war, a claim that was not only false, but also dangerous. The truth was that Russia, under the command of Vladimir Putin, had invaded Ukraine in 2022, igniting a conflict that had claimed countless lives too. Trump's falsehoods did not stop there. He had also claimed that Zelensky's approval rating was a mere 4%, a figure that was far from accurate. In reality, Zelensky enjoyed a much higher approval rating, with recent polls showing that 57% of Ukrainians trusted their president. This discrepancy highlighted the importance of verifying information before accepting it as truth. As Zoran delved deeper into the tale, he discovered that Trump had also exaggerated the amount of aid the United States had provided to Ukraine. Trump claimed that the US had spent $350 billion on the war, a figure that was grossly inflated. In truth, the actual amount was significantly lower, with estimates placing it around $124 billion. Truth is a precious gem, Zoran reflected, and it is our duty to protect it from the shadows of deceit. Zoran's journey through the labyrinth of lies and half-truths revealed a stark reality. The power of misinformation could shape perceptions and influence decisions in ways that were both profound and powerless. It was a reminder that in the quest for truth, one must always be vigilant and discerning. And so, with a heart full of wisdom and a mind sharpened by the pursuit of knowledge, Zoran the dragon soared into the skies, ready to uncover the next tale that awaited him. For in a world where truth and deception coexisted, there was always another story to be told, another truth to be revealed. Remember, Zoran declared, his voice carrying across the land, in the realm of truth, even the smallest light can dispel the darkest shadow. The end.